In a dramatic U-turn, the Kenyan government has restored fuel subsidies. This is just yesterday, an effort, they say, to protect customers, well, the average Kenyan, from increasing pump prices in response to the arrival of a cheaper shipment last week that alarmed oil traders. Now, after reinstating the subsidies that had caused pump prices to exceed 200 shillings, the energy regulator decided to maintain the fuel prices at their current levels. Still on the same matter, oil marketers here in Nigeria are indicating that the cost of premium motor spirit, PMS, will rise to between 680 to 720 in the coming weeks. Estimate based on the dollars, where the dollar is, from 910 to 950. And also, as you can see on that chart, over the last month, the rise in crude oil prices. Now, there's more now. The Labour Party, the Nigeria Labour Congress, has issued a warning that it will mobilize its members to embark on an indefinite nationwide strike if the current price of petrol increases. Joe Ajero, president of the NLC, made the statement at the African Trade Union Alliance meeting in Abuja. Of course, over the weekend, oil marketers, of course, as we said, hinted that the pump price will rise. The NNPC put out a tweet, or rather a notification, there it is, saying, "Dear esteemed customers, we at the NNPC retail value your patronage, and we do not have the intention to increase our PMS pump prices as widely speculated. Please buy the best quality products at the most affordable prices at our NNPC retail stations." NNPC retail stations. All right, we're going to have a wide-ranging discussion on this now. Joining us in Lagos is Mr. Segun Kadir. He's the Director General of the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria. In our Abuja studios, we have Mr. Chinedu Okoronkwo. He is the President of the Independent Marketers Association of Nigeria. Gentlemen, you are very welcome. Thank you so much for making yourselves available to have this discussion. Mr. Okoronkwo, let me start with you in Abuja. What's the main factor of the increase that you have that the IPMAN is projecting? Is it foreign exchange? Is it crude oil? What's the main driver here?
Rotu, thank you for having me. I think it's very, very important for me to state that IPMAN cannot be among those speculating. More so, we've not started importing this product. But everything, maybe you don't know the difference between independent marketers, those who are major marketers. Everything will be heaped on IPMAN. It's not correct. And you can hear from an NPC that they have no option for now to put their price up. We are really, really saddened by these speculators making things to be very, very hard for. Because by the time you speculate, people begin to adjust, even the gari, beans, everything. It's not giving us the headway to go. This PMS is like any other product. The noise about it, around it, is getting unbearable. And I want to state here that we are not making any effort to increase price. We are still getting our product from an NPC, majorly. So, and these people are the people we look up to. And they have come out clearly that they are not intending to increase price. I think this will go a long way to dousing every tension that for now, there is nothing to worry about. Believing that an NPC will do everything within its power to ensure that they are helping my members to get this product. I think we have not started importing, so that idea of triggering a situation shouldn't be there for now.
All right.
Moving forward.
Thank you, Mr. Okoronkwo. Let me get to the Director General of the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria. If NNPC is saying that the prices won't move, isn't that going against market forces? And then what's your position on the removal of fuel subsidies, and what do these higher prices mean for market manufacturers, your sector?
Okay, thank you for having me. If I could maybe start from the latter part of your question. The position on fuel subsidy removal, I think it's a matter of general application. Nigerians generally have accepted that it is in our national interest, it's in the interest of our economy to ensure that we do not continue to subsidize PMS. I mean, we have seen all the issues that have surrounded it. We've seen the corruption issues. We've seen how we have continued to literally bleed in terms of the budgetary allocation that is being made to support that subsidy regime. So I think generally, just like most Nigerians, we supported it, and I think we still support it regardless. But that is not where it stops. We need to deal with the implication of the removal of fuel subsidy. And I think that's why we are having these discussions about the possibility of the prices going up. Of course, it is a relief to hear from IPMAN that they are not contemplating increasing the price, and also that NNPC is coming out to say that the prices have remained the same. I do not see how this equals to bringing back fuel subsidy, but I just see that what they are saying is that the situation has remained the same. But it's very important for us to appreciate the fact that once you remove fuel subsidy, the price of PMS will continue to adjust in one way or the other to the international price of fuel and the dynamics that we know that sector to have. So I believe that government needs to be attentive to the signals and to ensure that the price does not escalate beyond the reach of the average citizen. Already it's affecting commercial activities, it's affecting the cost of logistics, it's also making the environment to be charged. I think you heard from what the labor union is saying and warning against any escalation in price. So I think all these issues need to put government on notice that it is important that it watches very closely and takes all necessary steps to see that first they mitigate the possibility of escalation, and to ensure that we quickly ramp up domestic production, because I think ultimately that remains one of the major areas where you'll be able to moderate the price of PMS.
Thank you, Mr. Kadir. Mr. Okoronkwo, let me come back to you in Abuja. Just so we understand this here, the downstream sector has been deregulated, and so I'll get to CNG in a second because I know you have a solution on that. But I just want to get back on this NNPC notice. They have said that we will not raise prices, which means this suggests that they are the ones that will control where the price is. Now, we just saw what happened in Kenya. Kenya has openly gone back to fuel subsidies. The regulator said it, that we are keeping the price where it is. Kenya is not hiding anything. They are telling the average Kenyan the truth. So is this not a subsidy? If oil prices are rising, exchange rates is moving, you already said that you are not importing, you are leaving that to the NNPC. So if the NNPC is who you are getting your fuel through, and they are openly coming out with a tweet and telling people that we will not raise prices, that's not market forces, that is a subsidy. You are holding the price where it is. Is that not the case?
It is not the case. Remember, in every business, capacity is very key. NNPC, they control all the value chain in this petroleum industry. They can also do something internally to see how they stabilize this issue. And I think that is what they are doing right now. I'm not telling you that we're not interested in importing, but I said for now we've not started. And we're making arrangements. And there is this window where an NPC and some importers could still get, other than the parallel market. That I&E window is still there, 700, and the other one is about 900, 950. That is the fear people are expressing. All these things are there. But what we are saying, a situation where people are beginning to raise this alarm to the extent people now, some stations are queuing up to get products. But thank God, what NNPC have done now is that, look, we are not doing that for now. They might use some of the other avenues of making their profit to say, let us do like that. It's just like a man having many ways of getting income. He can see what to do. The business is in a competitive mood now. They can leverage on a little profit. Maybe you're looking at 20 naira. They might say, let us see if we can get 5 naira. Everybody is not in the same price parity. For them, with their size and everything, they can also control this market. Let us not, remove that fact. Then coming to issue of CNG, we have profiled that is the situation because the capacity we have as an association and as individuals, some of my members have over 100 filling stations. Go now and check the cost of building one filling station. It's running in hundreds of millions. And this filling station, over 30,000 of them scattered all the local government, ward, state, and everything. And we have offered it that, look, let us incorporate CNG because the cost of doing this business is getting so exorbitant. But by the time we incorporate CNG into our station that we've already built, investment running over 10 trillion, and people will be talking about where is our investment. We have done this thing over the years, and it's now that it will pay this country. Where you co-locate this CNG, component and begin to use it rather than, leaving us. We need to put this CNG into the market as quick as we can in this country. That is
perfect.
what will reduce the pressure, what will bring down this energy problem. And the government have bought into it. It's for us now to think how we can move it quickly.
All right.
It's plug and play. We have already gotten the filling station. Thank you.
All right. Mr. Kadir, what do you make of the CNG? You're in the manufacturing sector, so what's your take on the CNG, and particularly the upfront costs of converting to a fuel-efficient car or a fuel-guzzling car to CNG? Mr. Kadir.
Yes, I think the CNG option is a welcome development. If you look at it in terms of what the startup cost will be, over time, you'll be able to recover the cost and even make some savings in terms of your energy cost. Also, I think it's one of the solutions to how you can mitigate the impact of increase in cost of energy, in cost of PMS. There are other ways also for you to ensure that you moderate the impact of the increase. Responsible consumption, for instance. If you have many vehicles, you don't put them on the road at the same time. I've seen even among workers now that they try to go in groups, not bringing their cars individually. We've also seen a situation where people are becoming more and more creative in terms of choosing when to go out and when not to go out. So I think that is part of it. There's also the need for government to ensure that there's rapid increase in the availability of electricity, because it's not only for cars that people buy petrol. They buy it for use with their generators at home. And so if there's improved power supply, there will be less demand for the use of PMS. But like I said, eventually what you need to do is to ensure that local production is improved upon. I mean, we should have refineries working. People always say that it's not something that you achieve in a hurry, but then you need to get at it. Because ultimately, when you depend on importing fuel, there is no way you can insulate yourself from the volatile nature of the exchange rate, which has been floated. So I mean, there's need for us to look at the issues from different angles and apply the solution from different angles so that you can bring down the cost.
All right, Mr. Kadir, I want to actually stick with you. And by the way, the government is saying it's a managed float, it's not a full float. But be that as it may, the Naira is being quoted on the black market now, or parallel market, anywhere from 950 to, I even got a quote of 1,000 already. Your sector is highly import dependent with respect to machinery. What would it take for Nigeria to make its own equipment to reduce imports? Is it a skills matter? Is it a skills gap, Mr. Kadir?
Well, I think it's a combination of many factors. Skills, of course, is required to build machines. And so you will require a specific skill set to be able to build the kind of machines that we use in industrial production. So one will imagine that apart from some global chains that are largely known for producing specific types of machines that we use in our factory, there's need for us to improve on the local supply of those machines. We have government agencies, for instance, LASENI, that needed to work closely with the manufacturers so that they will be able to produce to need. And then we'll be able to reduce our dependence on importation of those machines. There is also this collaboration between the industrial sector and the academia, which by the way, we are engaged in. We have an MOU with CODET, the Association of Dean of Engineers of Nigerian universities, that we are collaborating together to be able to find solutions to our needs in industry, particularly in terms of machines and other spares. So I believe that we should pay more attention to these areas where we have potential to produce our machines locally, particularly to service the small and medium scale industries. We have quite a number of local fabricators, and so the environment in which they operate needed to be improved upon and incentivized by government, such that we'll be able to reduce the kind of demands that we'll have to make on our forex to be able to import them. Everything has to do with having the right environment and having this far-sighted focus that will allow us not to deviate from it and make sure that policies that have been put in place to ensure that this happens are followed up and not truncated midway before they achieve their objectives.
Mr. Kadir, I know you are pressed for time and you are very busy today. I just want to squeeze one more question out of you, sir, before you move on. What's your outlook for the sector? With where everything is now, fuel, exchange rates, are we going to see more manufacturers closing down? Are there going to be more job losses? What's your outlook for the rest of 2023? Briefly, if you can.
Yeah, so the expectation we have is that we wouldn't go that route, even though everything is pointing to the direction that there are hard times awaiting manufacturers. You have seen the exit, so to say, of GSK. You've also seen the reduction in the profile of some of our members, big-time manufacturers in Nigeria. So this has tended to dampen the confidence of manufacturers in the rest of the year. But what we have done is to encourage our members to brace up to the challenge, because these are very, very difficult times for the economy. And more importantly, we are partnering with government to see that there is a winding down on the binding constraints that have continued to limit manufacturing performance. Those areas we believe will be addressed. For instance, the issue of forex, there has to be more availability. I mean, in the next few months, we must see a definite intervention by government, to ensure that there's a lessening on pressure on forex. There should also be the issue of infrastructure. Power supply, we need to get it right. And the issue of multiple taxation, it's fantastic to have the presidential committee take on these very important issues. So I believe that once these pressures continue to reduce and we find solutions to them, our outlook for the rest of the year could be said to be buoyant. I mean, if these issues are addressed. But if they are not, I mean, the fear is that we may finish the year performing far less than we did last year, because all the factors that affect our production do not look good at this time. But we can see definite steps being taken by this government, and if they are followed through and with continuous consultation and engagement with the players in the sector, we believe that this can be turned around and we may finish the year not worse than we started it.
Mr. Segun Kadir, the Director General of the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate you joining us. Mr. Okoronkwo, let me get back to you. The matter of dollars and where the exchange rate is, modular refineries, fixing our refineries, you're in this space. Will the refineries make a difference in terms of price if they were fully operational and you had more modular refineries in Nigeria?
Yeah, definitely it will make a lot of meaning, because the local production must be encouraged in all its facets. The modular refinery, even if it is only AGO they are producing, it will now reduce the pressure on naira and dollar. That will go a long way in, bringing a robust surplus of this energy. We need a lot of energy mix. Let the refinery work. Let this modular refinery work. But the ultimate thing is this CNG. We have it here. We don't, we're not going to import it. And like I said earlier, my members will have over 31 or 33,000 filling stations. Check the cost alone now, given the naira and dollar, parity. You will see that it's running into trillion. This on itself is huge investment that must not be allowed to die. The instant of the workers we have in this sector, by the time they are not doing anything, what will happen? It portends danger. So all hands must be on deck. Let us get a lot of energy mix. This CNG is already here. You talked about cost. The cost, when you are even paying the cost, you will not even know, because the average cost of PMS, when you now just oppose it with that of PMS and gas, the excess money you'll be getting, you will use it in deferring this thing. You will not even feel about it.
Mr. Okoronkwo, is this safe?
We are talking.
Thank God. Mr. Okoronkwo, we're looking at images there of gas cylinders in the trunk of people's cars. I even have a fear of cooking gas when I'm making food that it could, But is this safe? What about the safety measures, Mr. Okoronkwo? What about the safety measures?
Oh, wonderful. This is CNG, C1, C2. Methane, it's not propane or butane. And check that cylinder there, it's bulletproof. When it escapes, because it's very light, lighter than air, it will now evaporate. Not like propane or butane that will be waiting to see a spark. This gas has no threat of that area people are thinking. Knowledge, they say, is key. CNG is very, very needed. A cleaner energy, better mileage, and better, in your economical evaluation. You have a lot of things to save. And it will reduce the pressure that we're having in Naira and this thing. But thank God, the CBN acting governor said they know what to do now. We are very happy. All these people going to buy dollar and they're not using dollar, and tripping it, they should also check it. That is part of the problem we're having. You don't need dollar and you are buying dollar. For what? So, all the speculation and everything
Definitely makes sense. Final question for you, so just less than a minute. You mentioned that you are not. Do you have licenses yet? Have you gotten any from the NMDPRA, the midstream and downstream petroleum body? Are you anticipating getting licenses soon so you can import?
Before now, we have been importing. We have two companies, Ipman Refinery and Ipman Investment. What we'll only do is to renew their license. So we are trying to put our hands together so that we can start what we've been doing before. You know, it's not hard to get it, and they know we are qualified to getting it. My member station controls over 80% of the downstream sector. So we are better qualified and situated to have this license than any other group.
So final question,
so
sir. If you get there, where will prices be? That's my last question for you. If you expand those licenses, what's the forecast for prices of fuel?
We are talking about prices. The prices now, you know, is the realities of the market.
Yeah.
We are no more in that regime where government will do something. Now, everybody on your own. But government must do something internally, not to allow dollar and some of these things to, you know, clean out what should have been gained moving forward.
Mr. Chinedu Okoronkwo, we appreciate your time. The president of the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, IPMAN. Thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate you.